when you think about dominance, you know, you can look at Bruno Mafficine and see how many titles he has and his movement and just like how ahead of the curve he is, usually until the finals at least, right? You could look at Hodger Gracie with his 8 submission victories to win the Worlds and just never been done before.
And
but then you can also look at Lucas Lepri with not giving up a single point. I mean, who does that? They're all different forms of dominance, but it's hard to argue against any one of those.
In the way that you mentioned that Jacob Mackenzie is a half guard specialist, Lucas Lepri, I would say, is a guard pass specialist. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better guard passer competing at the World Championship this year than Lucas Lepri.
Yeah, which is really interesting because, I mean, this is, what is it, lightweight? This is he's always
lightweight division.
So these guys are under 170 pounds, which is typically not where you see the most impressive passing because they
the
don't
guards
have
are so good.
Yeah, that strength to weight ratio. The guards are amazing. Everyone's such a good athlete. They can lift you effortlessly. It's so much tougher to pass as you get lighter in the weight classes. And I mean, you just never know that he was a lightweight by the way he passes. Lucas Lepri, to your point, nearly flawless. But Mackenzie, man, I mean,
you don't see a lot of half guard specialists anymore.
I mean, you see Lucas Leitch, but Jake Mackenzie, if I remember correctly, plays a different style of deep half. So that it'll be interesting to see if I think a lot of people aren't used to training against that level of deep half that Jake Mackenzie has, so he can catch people off guard. And I'm not sure. Lepri very well might be up against something that he's just never seen before, or at least to that level. And here, yeah, Mackenzie working his way into this deep half. See if he can get these lapel grips. Going to come out to the other side, but this is going to put Lepri into reverse half guard. And Jake Mackenzie right away trying to stop this crossface. Mackenzie, I'm sure, ends up here a lot if he's playing deep half.
Yeah, you know, something we mentioned yesterday, if you play a lot of half guard, if that's your main choice of guard that you play, it means you hate your face.
Still jockeying for position. Lucas nearly has that ankle, at least past the ankles of Mackenzie. He's going to step over into regular half guard, and I think he was just setting up the grip so when he goes to this knee cut that he will have the advantage. Jake Mackenzie, though, has that left arm through, and he's padlocking his right arm, which is going to keep him from having it extended by Lepri, which should put Mackenzie's back on the mat if Lepri is able to extend it. Elevates Lepri pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, he does.
That was surprising.
It's not, I mean, to stifle the guard passing of Lucas Lepri this long, I mean, it might sound a little hyperbolic, but it's pretty, I mean, like, it's not easy to keep this guy from passing the guard. He passed Edwin Najmi's guard in the finals last year 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
this guy's
once right away, I think.
Yeah, and this guy is I mean, he's one of the most dangerous guard passers in the game, and he's been essentially completely shut down here so far by
for
Mackenzie.
Like the last 4 minutes, which is just something you don't see that often. Lepri is just one of the unsung heroes of passing. I mean, people that watch him in the finals, watch his game, they know, but unsung in the fact that he just doesn't get the press that I feel he deserves because he's got to be one of the best passers of all time.
Interesting dynamic here. You can see here in our camera, Monique Elias, who's the wife of Mario Hayes, is actually coaching Jacob Mackenzie right now. And Monique Elias is actually from Alliance.
Yes. That is interesting.
I don't know what the relationship is there, but yeah, just interesting. As you mentioned, Mackenzie spending lots of time in Brazil. Sure, built lots of relationships there. And so...
No, I think she's coaching Lepri.
No. Oh, yeah, that's right. She is coaching Lepri, so that makes more sense.
That makes a lot more sense. I was going to say, that's trying to start some rumors here,
yeah.
Tyler.
I apologize for people at home. I was actually trying to do the math in my head, and I saw the picture-in-picture.
Jake is actually,
but now he may be in deep trouble getting this knee cut here. There's a lot of pressure on the neck here by Lepri.
Oh,
that is a vicious crossface.
And this actually might be a submission from here if there's enough torque.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing because I'm looking at his face because it's right here, right close to us, and his face is bright red.
And look at that, just able to make the angle and get himself right back underneath.
But that's what I mean about good half-guard players. Good half-guard players hate their face because he was sitting there and he was taking that punishment, John, but he was accepting it knowing that it was an opportunity for him.
Here giving up the, I think he has head and arm, but it's the near side underhook as opposed to the far side, which is what you really want. That's something that I don't really see Jake Mackenzie ever giving up, though. Head and arm, either way, I suppose is really only concerned about the far side. Now he's given up the far side underhook, and Lepri's going to look to capitalize on this one. He's got his head on the mat. He's got his hips up high, and he's going to try to just knee cut right through if he can get the control he wants. Using his head to turn Jake Mackenzie's head away. And that's going to shut down a lot of the defense. And there we go.
There's the pass.
So clean, and Mackenzie is fighting. He does not want to give the points. Kind of running out of bounds.
They're going to just pull him back to the mat, yeah. Mackenzie, I'm sure, would love if they just reset him on the feet and gave Lepri an advantage, but...
Yes, I'm sure that would have been...
That would have been his desired option. It's one of the problems, I think, that we saw this year is there's a lot of intentional or unintentional fleeing in the mat whenever progress was being made is related to sweeps or takedowns. And so I think in instances like this, it's nice to be able to reset them. And you can also see here at the finals, the mat space that we have is much larger, so the competitors have a lot more room to work. So the ability for somebody to make their way out of bounds is much more difficult. As we see Mackenzie recover the half guard here on Lepri.
I mean, that's a big deal in itself, just recovering the guard against Lepri, and that quickly.
Yeah. The 3 points is going to be a real problem for Mackenzie because now a sweep doesn't do it. A sweep still loses the match. So you're going to have to do more than sweep Lucas Lepri. And as we mentioned, he hasn't been scored on in well over a year. So is a tough road to plow for Jacob Mackenzie with a little under 3 minutes left to go in this quarterfinal match.
Yeah, that's not a good statistic. It's definitely something you don't want your corner shouting to you when you're down on points. Not a real motivator.
You need to score 4 points on Lucas Lepri, go.
It didn't happen at all last year. It's, yeah, a little bit daunting, but still doable. I mean, if I were to peg someone to do it in this tournament, I would say Mackenzie might have one of the best times doing that just because of the unorthodox style.
I was getting ready to say that, yeah, he has a type of guard, and he's probably as adept as anyone at playing it, and it's probably something that Lepri does not see very often.
Lepri is really focused on this lapel. He's just going to force the pass.
You can see the anguish on the face of Mackenzie. He's so badly doesn't want to give this up, but man,
holding it with that hand, the right hand grip on the
bottom half is such a punishing position to play. And you can see here his body is facing the opposite direction of his leg and knees. But
to see someone punish it the way Lepri is,
oh my gosh,
really
and he's all the way past
body
once again. Mackenzie trying to go away, but his bottom arm is trapped. He's not going to be able to get too far because Lepri is sitting with his right arm tucked underneath of his armpit.
Just holding onto the pants.
Jacob Mackenzie's face says it all. That's what it's like to fight Lucas Lepri. His face.
And now he's just going to look to take the back. I mean, it's just he knows he's got to get out of there. He's got to take a risk. And like we were saying earlier, and I like to see this, I feel like too many people are concerned within a tournament not being submitted. And Lepri is pulling Mackenzie over into the bow and arrow.
There's going to be no freebies given from Jacob Mackenzie, but he's going to be forced to tap
lot
here.
Of pressure. With under a minute left to go, up 6 points, still going for the finish.
Lucas Lepri is going to move on to the next round of the men's lightweight division, so he'll be in the semifinals here later today. He continues his perfect streak, no points scored against him. He secured 2 guard passes before being able to submit his opponent. A very, very worthy Jacob Mackenzie.